Committee of KPBFA, members, KPBFA, IVPI, and my dear colleagues, staff, and a very good afternoon to you all. It's my pleasure to extend a warm welcome to you all on behalf of Karnataka Poultry Farmers and Breeders Association. We are very privileged and pleased to welcome every one of you for being with us, and I personally feel proud to host you all on the online August gathering. Today we have a very important guest among us to enlighten all of us on a very pressing topic because of which we are all impacted very badly, and in the reason to come online meeting instead of our regular convention physical events. Today we are all here to learn about a very important subject through the seminar title, The Impact of COVID-19 on Poultry Sector, with a special reference to IB virus, their pathology and pathogenesis. I believe and hope that it will be a very interesting and useful topic for all of us. I welcome Dr. J.L. Vegad, our speaker for the day, who is a senior scientist and an authority on veterinary pathology and poultry disease with very rich experience in poultry sector. Welcome to you, sir. I extend my hearty welcome to Dr. G.B. Puttanaya, sir, from NutriFeeds and Farms, who is a technical committee chairman and a well-known figure in our fraternity. He took special interest in formulating the technical seminar. We are very proud to have him in our board, as he brings his vast experience to guide us to navigate the correct challenging which we face in our poultry production. I also would like to welcome Dr. Devegowda, President IVPI, and Dr. RNS Gowda, who are always with us to guide us and but also to address the media in any situation and issues from the animal welfare groups. Though initially we planned the webinar for our members only, we got a very good response for poultry veterinary fraternity, and not only from India and abroad also. I personally welcome veterinarians from Nepal, Sri Lanka, who are with us today. I would like to extend a warm welcome to the poultry media friends too. I once again cordially invite all the distinguished guests for this August gathering. Thank you so much.
Request Dr. Puttanaya sir to kindly give an introduction to seminar. But before this, before Dr. Puttanaya takes over, I would like to request everybody to kindly put your audio mics on mute. So as yeah, thank you, Dr. Puttanaya sir.
Good afternoon. The entire country and also other countries also, we suffered a lot. We suffered a lot, and this unprecedented sort of a thing we never experienced in all these, I think, 30, 40 years of our poultry farming. Unfortunately, what has happened is that we had 2006, the outbreak of avian influenza. That also, we never had so much of a problem. This time what has happened, because of the COVID-19, presently devastating not only the country, but the entire world. And because of misinformation in the electronic media, we suffered a lot. And many started telling that the COVID-19 is also transmitted through the poultry. Do not eat meat. Do not eat poultry meat. Do not do anything with the poultry meat and all that. They started telling. So under these circumstances, the prices went very, very low, and nobody wanted to eat poultry meat. So this sort of a situation went on for nearly 2 months, and we are still.
Vegad.
So lot of impact of COVID-19, and we thought, and of course here and there, whatever news we had from Government of India, Government of other veterinarians, the pathologists and virologists of veterinary origin, they gave us some information about that not transmitted through the poultry or the poultry meat. So with all these things, information, we convinced the electronic media as well as other general public about this one, and things have started probably in these 2 things are better. But unfortunately, what has happened, we are short of probably the best of the technical advice. So I thought myself, we would arrange a sort of a meeting, a sort of a seminar online, so that at the comfort of our home, we could listen to probably the best of the pathologists in the country. He is known nationally and internationally. And being a pathologist, he is also a virologist, he is also a immunologist, and especially poultry specialist. And with this, I think we invited Dr. J.L. Vegar and pathology of COVID-19, as well as in connection with IB, which is our problem in the poultry industry, because they are, both of them are quite similar. So I requested him to present a seminar on this. Regarding COVID-19, its impact on the poultry industry, and also so with this information, I would hand over this thing to Dr. J.L. Vegar. Sir, please go ahead with your seminar on this known subject, sir. Thank you, sir.
I have unmuted Dr. Vegar. Kindly go ahead, sir.
Honorable President, Dr. Rai, Chairman, Technical Coordination Committee, Dr. Puttanaya, General Secretary, Dr. Goswami, Mr. Khan, and distinguished friends. The topic given to me by Dr. Puttanaya is extremely important, particularly from the poultry industry point of view. Because of this coronavirus, the industry came to a standstill and suffered huge losses. And still, we are struggling. It had so happened that some irresponsible people in the country spread this wrong news, wrong information, that by eating chicken and eggs, you may suffer from you may suffer from coronavirus. The virus from the poultry will enter in you, will produce the disease and may kill you even. As a result, there was a standstill and people gradually stopped eating chicken, eggs, and that was a heavy blow to the poultry industry. Now, what are the scientific facts actually? What is the truth behind it? What does the science say? Is it that the coronavirus from poultry goes to the human being? It is absolutely wrong. There is no proof like that. I will be talking about this item, this point, in some detail afterwards. But first, I think I should begin with few things we need to know about coronaviruses. Now these coronaviruses, the first coronavirus in the world, the first coronavirus in the world was discovered in 1930. 1930, that is 90 years ago. And the interesting thing for us who are connected with poultry industry is that the first virus was discovered in poultry in 1930 in the state of North Dakota in United States. And the first virus was infectious bronchitis virus. So infectious bronchitis virus of poultry was discovered 90 years ago, and it never spread to human beings. The second interesting thing was that at that time, nothing was known, absolutely nothing was known about the human coronaviruses. Nothing was known. The first human coronavirus was discovered in 1965. That means 30 years after the coronavirus in the poultry was discovered. And the virus which was discovered in human being, the first virus of coronavirus in human being that was discovered was a virus of common cold. Common cold. When we have common cold in winter, we never realize the main virus, of course, is rhinovirus, but the common cold virus is also associated with coronavirus. It is very mild. And then in a child, a virus was discovered some few years later that was from bronchitis. And one more virus was discovered from pneumonia. And from two other countries also viruses were discovered in human beings. One was from Netherlands, the other one from Hong Kong. Today, there are 7 viruses which infect human beings. 7 viruses. 4 of them are very mild, like cold, like common cold, and that. These 3 harmful viruses, the first one was discovered in 2002, what came to be known as SARS virus, severe acute respiratory syndrome. This virus is spread throughout the world and killed many people. This virus was a coronavirus. It was named as coronavirus 1. Then the second harmful virus that was discovered was what is known as MERS, Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. And this is the third harmful virus, that is coronavirus 19 or COVID-19. COVID-19, D. COVID-19. That means because it was discovered in 2019. The coronavirus is called coronavirus, by the way, whether it is poultry, infectious bronchitis of poultry or human. This is because it has got on the surface of the virus, there are club-like projections. You would have seen the photograph on TV, club-like projections. And they appear, the virus is circular, round virus. On it, they appear like a crown. That's why it's called corona. Corona word is a Latin word which means crown. So as if the virus is having a crown. Now, coronaviruses, hundreds of them are there, hundreds of them. I talked only about few viruses, but there are hundreds of them. And all the big group, they were divided into 4 groups. All the hundreds of viruses, coronaviruses, in animals, they're present they are mainly present in animals. They're present in bats, cattle, dogs, cats, and many other animals also. Cat is the most important reservoir. There are about 500 coronaviruses in bat. Mind you, bat it is not a bird, it is an animal. It is an animal. Now, all the coronaviruses have been divided into 4 groups: alpha, beta, gamma, delta. Alpha and beta, they infect mammals. So human get alpha and beta. Gamma and delta, they infect avian species. They infect birds. The virus of infectious bronchitis in poultry is a gamma coronavirus. So these are a few things about coronaviruses. Now, let us try to compare, as Dr. Puttanaya had said, what is the relationship between the human coronavirus and the infectious bronchitis virus of poultry. So we will try to see, and then we'll see what are the similarities between the two and what are the differences between the two. And can really the poultry virus spread to human being? Let us try to understand first the structure of the coronavirus. The structure of the coronavirus, whether it is a human coronavirus 19 or virus of infectious bronchitis in poultry, the structure is very similar.
நாளை யோசனை பண்ணேன் நல்ல இடமா கிடைச்சது சரி ரைட்டுமா
RNA virus, that means ribonucleic RNA virus. It is a single-stranded virus. That means it is one strand of RNA. There are viruses of RNA which are having 2 strands. For example, infectious bursal disease, Gumboro, that is double-stranded RNA. Reoviruses of poultry is a double-stranded virus. And there are DNA viruses. DNA viruses are present in Marek's disease is a DNA virus. Infectious laryngomyositis is a DNA virus. So there are DNA viruses also. Now, coming to the coronavirus and the infectious bronchitis virus, they are RNA virus and single strand. So in the center is the RNA. Supposing this is the virus, in the center is the RNA. That is its genetic material. RNA is the genetic material of this virus. Covering the genetic material RNA is a layer of protein that is called as capsid. Capsid. And on the top of capsid, or rather layer, and that is caused as an envelope. Envelope. So we have RNA in the center, genetic material, protein, and then the envelope. From the envelope, there are projections. Now let us say these fingers are projections. These fingers are projections, which are seen on the corona. Club-shaped projections you have seen on corona, on coronavirus. Now these projections, they are nothing but protein. They are in fact glycoprotein. These are the proteins. Now in the structure of this virus, genetic material is there, capsid is there, protein, and these projections are there. The most important role in the production of disease of these productions, protein. I will explain how. Now, let us see, this is the structure of the coronavirus. Now, how does the infectious bronchitis virus look like? Infectious bronchitis virus has the same RNA, single-stranded RNA in the center, covered by protein layer called capsid. Then there is an envelope, the envelope. And from the envelope, like coronaviruses, these projections are there, and their protein are the glycoprotein. Now, these proteins are of 2 types. They are called as a spike protein. Spike, because they project like a spikes. It is spike 1 and spike 2. The same exactly is infectious bronchitis virus. So far, we found that the coronavirus of human, this 19, is very similar. It closely resembles with the coronavirus of poultry, that is infectious bronchitis virus. Just before I go further, this is an enveloped virus. There is an envelope. There are many viruses which are non-enveloped. For example, Gumboro virus, that is non-enveloped. Adenoviruses are non-enveloped. Adenoviruses are poultry, which cause inclusion body hepatitis. It is non-enveloped. Then reoviruses are non-enveloped. This virus is enveloped. Wernicke disease or Newcastle disease virus is enveloped. Avian influenza virus is enveloped. So we have two classes of viruses, enveloped and non-enveloped. Now, what is the basic difference between the two? The most important difference between the two is that this enveloped viruses can be easily killed by disinfectants. So the coronavirus is easily susceptible. It is vulnerable to disinfectants. It can be easily destroyed. The same thing with Wernicke disease virus, the same thing with influenza, infectious bronchitis virus, they're all enveloped viruses, can be easily destroyed. What is the reason? The reason is that in the envelope there is lipid, fat. And the disinfectant they put there, it dissolves in the fat and kills the virus. This is an important aspect. And what is the difference between RNA and DNA viruses? This is also very important to understand. That the RNA viruses, this is an RNA virus, coronavirus is an RNA virus, infectious bronchitis is an RNA virus. The basic difference between RNA and DNA viruses is that RNA viruses are prone to mutations. They undergo more mutations. DNA viruses are less prone to mutations. So far we have talked about the similarity between the human coronavirus 19 and the infectious bronchitis virus of poultry. Now, I'm going to highlight the differences which are very important from our practical point of view. The differences, before I go to the differences, one very important point one has to understand is, now this is a coronavirus or infectious bronchitis virus. They are similar. How do they enter the body? How do they enter into the body and produce the disease? Whether it is human coronavirus or whether it is infectious bronchitis virus of bird, both of them enter into the system, into the body through the respiratory system. So coronavirus goes through respiratory system. Infectious bronchitis virus of the bird also enters through respiratory system. Now, after it has entered into the respiratory system, this is similar in both. First, this virus has to attach to the lining cells of the respiratory tract, trachea, bronchi. They have to first attach. Unless the attachment is there, they cannot enter. Now, how this attachment occurs? Now, this is the virus. And this, my fist, is, let us say, the cell of the body. Now, what happens is that this is spike 1 and spike 2. This spike protein will go, and supposing this is the receptor, it will go and attach to the receptor. It has to attach to the receptor. Unless it attaches to the receptor on the body cell, which line the respiratory system, it cannot enter into the cell. It cannot. And if it does not enter, if it is unable to enter into the cell, it will never produce disease. It will never produce disease. Now, what is happening is in this case, that it may be this big, club-shaped spike virus. Now, if this portion has to attach, the entire virus, the entire club is not going to attach. Excuse me. The entire club is not going to attach. There is only a little portion here, little portion, few amino acids, little portion. It is called as receptor binding domain. Receptor binding domain, whether it is coronavirus 19 or whether it is infectious bronchitis virus. Each have what is known as a domain, receptor binding domain. So this receptor binding domain will go and attach to the receptor here. Now, in the receptor for each virus is specific. In case of the human being, infectious this coronavirus 2 or COVID-19, the receptor here scientists have identified. This receptor is what is known as angiotensin converting enzyme 2. I repeat again, angiotensin converting enzyme 2. This has been worked out. Okay, now this means that this portion has to, this portion, what is called as the receptor binding domain, has to attach with this portion here of the cell. In human being, this portion will attach to the receptor, and I told you the name of the receptor is angiotensin converting enzyme 2, ACE2. So it attaches, then this spike protein number 2, it helps it after treatment, it has to diffuse inside. So this spike 2 helps, and the virus then enters into the cell, then goes into the circulation, starts producing the disease. Now the most important point is here that this receptor binding domain of coronavirus 19 and receptor binding domain of infectious bronchitis virus, they are two entirely different. They are two entirely different. Now, this one here, receptor, in human coronavirus, the receptor is angiotensin converting enzyme 2. But the receptor for infectious bronchitis virus is entirely different. It is alpha-2,3 sialic acid. So, if the IV virus, infectious bronchitis virus, enters into human being, it will never be able to attach to this receptor, which is in human being, the virus for infectious bronchitis virus and human coronavirus, the receptors are entirely different. Friends, supposing I give you a lock. I give you a lock. In the lock, I also then give you a key. And I asked you to please open this lock for me. But the key which I have given to you is a wrong key. It is lock. If I give you a wrong key, then lock you will never be able to open. You will not be able to open unless that lock and key are fit each other. You will not be able to. The same thing is that unless this receptor binding domain of one virus is not getting the proper match here, the key is different, the receptor is different, and it will not be able to open the lock. Now to make the, getting a bit technical, I will make it simple now. Supposing somebody has eaten chicken, somebody has eaten eggs, the virus supposing goes inside. Which virus will go from the chicken? The virus of infectious bronchitis, which is a coronavirus, it will go into the human system. Okay, it has gone inside. But the domain, receptor binding domain, S protein, spike protein, it is different. The receptor here in human being is angiotensin converting enzyme 2. So that virus of infectious bronchitis which has gone into the human being, it will not be able to attach here because it's a different receptor altogether. And unless it gets the right receptor, it will not be able to attach. And if it does not attach, it cannot enter into the system of human being. It cannot produce disease. It cannot cause any harm. These are, friends, the established scientific facts which people never knew. And they started making irresponsible statements that if you eat chicken or egg, you will contract the infection and you will suffer from the disease. Now, let me tell you one interesting thing. How this came, angiotensin converting enzyme 2 receptor, how it came in human being. In 2002, I told earlier that there was a disease which was discovered that was called as severe acute respiratory syndrome, SARS. At that time, a lot of research was done. And then it was worked out at that time that the receptor on the cell of the human respiratory system to which they are binding is angiotensin converting enzyme 2. Angiotensin converting enzyme. Now, this time, people in the beginning for this one, coronavirus 19, soon they found that the receptor of the SARS virus, which appeared in 2002, and the virus of coronavirus COVID-19 are exactly the same. So that is how things became easy. But up till now, scientists are struggling to find out what is the receptor binding domain of coronavirus 19. Of course, it is a protein. It's a portion of protein. But what protein, which amino acids, and what exactly is there happening there, and how it is attaching, still they do not know. They are struggling. And the idea is, what the scientists are doing is that supposing if they are able to come out with some medicines which inhibit the attachment of this protein, spike protein here with the receptor, then the virus will be virus will not be able to produce the disease. So they are coming out, they are trying for the inhibitors of this portion. Secondly, in the vaccine, what they are trying to do is that supposing they produce such antibodies, they prepare against the protein will block this. After vaccination, the antibodies which will be produced in human being will block this. And they will not be able to enter, this virus will not be able to enter into the human being. Now, the basic differences between this coronavirus and human virus, this infectious bronchitis is that infectious bronchitis virus, it undergoes, it has a high mutation. I don't want to go into the details of mutation, but the simple thing is that these RNA or DNA viruses, when they replicate, that means they multiply, there are four base pairs, adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine, and all that. They do the pairing. But if this pair goes wrong, to put it simply, that 1, 2, 3, 4, the basic principle is 1 has to combine with 2, and 3 with 4. If 1 combines with 3, wrong combination, that means if adenine, rather than combining with thymine, if it combines with guanine, 1 combining with 3, wrongly, it should combine with 2, then it is mutation. And this mutation occurs in the DNA and RNA of the viruses. RNA viruses are more prone to it. Like avian influenza continuously undergoes mutations. That's why it is creating a challenge, a problem. Infectious bronchitis virus. In this virus also, the mutation rate is very high, very high. And that's why we have got types and subtypes and variants and all that kind of thing, different serotypes. Why it is happening? Why it is changing all the time? It is committing mistakes. One combined with 3, adenine combined with guanine. Viruses have been given a system of correcting this mistake, what is called as proofreading mechanism. But this is very poor in infectious bronchitis virus and the viruses also. That's why infectious bronchitis virus has high rates of mutation, and when the mutation occurs, the virus changes, the antigens change, the protein changes. So the earlier vaccine is not able to protect the bird. And not only the mutation occurs, it occurs that there are deletions, there are additions, insertions of the genes, and there is also what is called as the genetic recombination. In infectious bronchitis virus, there is genetic recombination. What I mean by the genetic recombination is that this is the infectious bronchitis virus and this is the spike protein. Under field conditions, just one serotype of infectious bronchitis it does not alone infect the bird. Usually there are more than 2 or more than 1. So supposing in the same cell of the respiratory tract in bird, if there are 2 serotypes, different serotypes of the infectious bronchitis virus present at the same time, then they will exchange their genetic material, this one here. They will exchange their receptor binding domain and 2 different new serotypes will emerge. The old one will die. So the problem is that the infectious bronchitis virus undergoes mutations, insertions, deletions, genetic recombination and all that. That's why there are so many different serotypes, so many variants, and we never get full protection. We get only 50% protection. The first vaccine of infectious bronchitis was worked out in the year 1941 at the University of Massachusetts. That is why it is called as MAS-41. MAS for Massachusetts, 41 is the year in which it was discovered, it was prepared. So after so many years, even we are struggling with infectious bronchitis virus. We are not able to control it fully because the virus is changing all the time. Now, let us come to coronavirus 19. Does it undergo? Because they are all coronaviruses. So one scientist presumed that they also must be undergoing mutations. Luckily, so far, this COVID-19 has undergone only 1 mutation. 1. But it is happening all the time. So many times it is mutating. In humans, so far, it has gone only 1. And it has come out with 2 strains. What is known as the S strain and L strain. They found this in China itself. Now, S strain is less harmful. L strain is very powerful. It is very harmful. And what is creating a problem is mostly the L strain throughout the world. It is harmful. Now, why it is harmful? Because when the virus underwent mutation, and when this L was produced, L strain, the L strain has a greater affinity for the receptor. There was a greater affinity for binding. So it was causing more damage and suddenly entering there. And then another factor was also there, what is known as RO factor or R0 factor. What is RO or R? We call O, in America they call not. So R0 factor. What is R0 factor is? Simple, it's a mathematical term actually. What they have worked out is that supposing a man has got corona infection, human infection, and his RO factor is 1, which means it will spread infection to only 1 person. If the RO factor is 18, that means that person will spread that infection to 18 people. The SARS virus, the coronavirus SARS 2002, severe acute respiratory syndrome, the RO factor was 2.7. So it was spreading only to 2 to 3 persons. Then the MERS virus, Middle East respiratory syndrome virus, the RO factor was less than 1. So one person could only infect one person. In case of Corona-19, the RA factor is 5.7. So one person can infect 5 to 6 people, 5 to 6 persons. That's why it is spreading very rapidly. If one person is spreading infection to 6 persons and those 6 persons to other, and that is how the chain goes on. Anyway, that's a different point. So the basic point which I want to emphasize is that when the receptor binding domain of the S1 protein which attaches is different and the receptor is different, they will not bind to each other. They have got to match with each other like a lock and key. Infectious bronchitis virus, when it goes to the human being, both the things are different. The domain, the receptor binding domain of infectious bronchitis virus is entirely different. The receptor is entirely different. In human being, the angiotensin converting enzyme 2, this receptor, this enzyme is not present in birds. So how the infection can come from birds to human being? It's not present. This is not present in bird. Actually, it's a bit complicated material. I don't want to go into this. This angiotensin, how does it come? There is a system in human being called angiotensin-renin system. Angiotensinogen is a protein which is produced in human being by liver. This is acted upon by an enzyme called renin, which comes from kidney. And it is converted into angiotensin 1, which has to do with the blood pressure. Angiotensin 1 is converted into angiotensin 2 by what is called as angiotensin converting enzyme 2. Converting enzyme 2 is the receptor for Corona-19 virus, as I told you. And many people who are having high blood pressure, they are required to take the inhibitors of angiotensin converting enzyme. That's why it is said that people with diabetes, people with hypertension and homicide who are having these, who are taking these hypertensive drugs of angiotensin converting enzyme receptor blockers. There are anti-hypertensive drugs, particularly. अच्छा अच्छा बोलूं कि रेवा
एक सेकंड हाँ तो मैं बोलूं
अभी खुद से
बताने की कोशिश करता था
shall I start? Hello?
Yes, start.
Oh. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, okay. Now only a few minutes before I conclude. There are two important things I would like to tell. That in case the human virus, coronavirus 19, starts mutating further like the infectious bronchitis virus of poultry, then the situation will become very, very difficult for tackling. Because then the virus, I mean, if it is changing all the time, it will be difficult to control this virus through vaccines. For example, human influenza virus, it is changing. So each year you have got to take a different vaccine. The same vaccine will not work. In avian influenza and bird, the virus is continuously mutating. The proofreading mechanism is very poor. Wrong base pairing is always there. And that's why we have got so many different strains and so many things, serotypes and sub-serotypes, and they are changing all the time. Now, some of you might be wondering, although it concerns human coronavirus, but how actually it came into human being? How the viruses come from animals or poultry into human being? Once upon a time, avian influenza virus had entered into the human being and caused some mortality also. So how it happens? Now, actually, in this case, and the present scenario, it is believed by scientists that coronavirus 19 came actually from bats, because SARS virus also came from there. And then from there, it went to a creature, wild creature, known as pangolin, Pangolin. It's like a mongoose, if you see it on the net. This is a delicacy. People love it. All the Chinese, they eat it a lot. And in Wuhan open marketing, this wild animal was eaten so much that the infection is spread to human being. How? From the bat and from pangolin, because human ate it, it went there in the human beings. Now, in human being, eating, because there are receptors of COVID-19 virus. They are not present only in the respiratory tract. This angiotensin converting enzyme receptors are also present in our lungs. In the lungs, if you know the histology, there are two types of cells in the alveoli, type 1 and type 2. The type 2 have the receptors, so the coronavirus goes and attaches theirs. That's why these patients suffer from pneumonia, pulmonary edema, they die. And the receptors of corona D virus are not only confined to lungs and respiratory system, in fact, kidney and digestive tract and other places also. On the tongue also they are present. So through mouth also the infection can happen in human being. Now, in poultry also, in infectious bronchitis virus, infectious bronchitis virus, although it is called infectious bronchitis, it is not confined only to the respiratory system. It affects kidneys, it affects genital tract, it affects also respiratory tract, because all these organs have the receptor. So wherever the receptor in the body are present, the virus will go there. So virus from bat came into pangolins and human ate and it came there. Now why this concept? They said that the virus which was present in pangolin, Pangolin, was 99% similar to the virus which is present in human being currently, and that's how it entered. But even in spite of that, scientists don't think that these pangolins are acting as an intermediate host. So actually, where it came from, they say 95% possibility that this virus came from bat to pangolin and then to human. But we do not know the exact story. We also do not know the human side whether it will undergo further mutations or not. In infectious bronchitis virus, the mutations are taking all the time. So it is becoming difficult to control. In this case also it is difficult to control because there are so many challenges. And we know so little about this virus. There is a lot to be known about coronavirus 19. And research will tell us. But it was really unfortunate that misinformation and disinformation about the coronavirus, infectious bronchitis coronavirus, was spread by irresponsible people, and that caused so much damage, not only to the poultry industry, but to the country as a whole. Many people lost their jobs. many farmers got ruined. Even the bigger farmers, excuse me, and the bigger company, they will also bore the brunt of it. Before I close my talk, I would like to most sincerely thank and express my gratitude to Karnataka for Poultry Farmers and Breeders Association, particularly to the President, Dr. Rai, to Dr. Puttanamaya, and all of you. And I thank each and every one of you for your gracious presence and for your patient hearing. Now, if there are some questions, I will try to answer them.
Hello. Thank you very much, sir, for your extensive explanation regarding COVID-19 as well as the infectious bronchitis virus, sir. Today, we have a lot of information from your talk, and this session is open for questions. My colleagues, whoever is listening to this session, please go ahead with your questions, and Dr. J.L. Vegad would be very happy to answer your questions. Thank you, sir. Hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir. Please. Our colleagues.
Welcome. I am basically a teacher. I have been a professor all along my life. And I would welcome any questions. Any questions. If I know, I will try to answer them. Yeah, this angiotensin converting enzyme, this is exactly the receptor for COVID-19. I can't hear you. Okay. Now, there is one important point I want to tell you, which, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. In poultry, for viruses, there are many viruses in poultry. Excuse me. There are mutations are very common. Avian influenza virus continuously mutates. Infectious bronchitis virus undergoes mutations, genetic recombinations, and all kind of things. Then we have Marek's disease virus. It also mutates, but very slowly. Because of mutations, we get mild strains, mild virus, virulent virus, then it became very virulent virus, and now it is very virulent plus. Rio viruses also started mutating. I was surprised when I came to know that the infectious bursal disease virus, Gumboro virus, it is also making mutations and coming out with strains which are resistant to be tackled by even vaccines. So there is a big challenge actually. There is a fight going on between pathogen on the one side and the body immune system of the other. And the pathogen, disease producing organism, is coming out with new innovations all the time. New strategies. For what? For dodging the immune system of the bird. Let us take an example of Mycoplasma gallisepticum undergoes mutations. There is antigenic variations are there, but at the same time, it adopts another mechanism, what is called as phenotypic switching. Phenotypic switching. That means when it is present in the body and you have carried out a vaccination against mycoplasma, and when they find that these antibodies are destroying me, then the Mycoplasma gallisepticum changes its surface proteins or antigens in the body of the bird itself. Phenotypic switching. Just as I'm sitting here, I don't want this light, so I can switch it off. And if I want it, I can switch it on. So it has evolved a mechanism called epigenetics. It can switch on and switch off the genes. Mycoplasma gallisepticum can switch on and switch off the genes so that it can change its surface antigens. So the first antibodies which were earlier produced because of vaccination, they now fail to recognize the mycoplasma, whether it is the same or not. It's like your son participated in a fancy competition and he portrayed the role of a beggar. Nobody could recognize him, his friends also. His parents had come to see him. And his parents, the teacher asked him, could you find out who that boy was? Could you recognize him? And the parents said, we could not recognize him. So the teacher said, he was your son. And he had changed himself so much that he was looking like a beggar and parents could not recognize. So antibodies which were formed earlier against the Mycoplasma gallisepticum, when the virus has changed itself through epigenetic mechanisms, the antibodies do not recognize it, and so we get only partial protection through the antibodies. So I do not know what future strategies coronavirus.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes.
Happy to hear your voice. I am Dr. Srinath Koda.
Oh dear. Oh, well, lovely to hear you. I never realized that you. Oh, you are
Yes.
most welcome. Most welcome.
I was watching your entire thing.
Yes.
It's an excellent presentation and good analysis. I
Thank
appreciate.
you.
But generally speaking, RNA viruses have got, especially the segmented viruses, non-segmented virus
Yes.
will have its own effect.
Yes. You are right.
Genetically, there is genetic diversity is there, mutation, recombination, and reassortment
Yes.
is a common thing.
Yes.
All these, it differs in DNA and RNA viruses. Again, it's a single or double stranded segments
Yes.
or non-segmented nucleic acid. What you explained about that. Higher rate of mutation in RNA viruses is due to error in premature as
Yes,
DNA
proliferative
polymerase.
mechanism. Yeah, errors in replication during errors.
Yes, in polymerase,
Yes.
DNA
Yes.
polymerase.
Wrong base pairing. Yes.
Yes, having a proofreading activity.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. You are right.
This is what is
Yes.
happening. Exchange of nucleic acid segments occur due to recombinations,
Yes.
reassortment,
Yes.
as we could see in avian influenza.
Right.
And of course, these are the common things. But IB,
Yes.
we know now this since 1930s, we have got several new strains are coming up because of using of vaccines, live attenuated vaccines.
Uh-huh.
There is a combination of these things, viruses, reassortment, mutation, and all these things will be there. Again, the vaccine virus also join with them,
Yes. Yes.
and host DNA also is going to join with them. That's why it's susceptibility and resistance. So probably, can you explain something about on that?
Yes. Let us take the example of infectious bronchitis virus.
Yes, going to be IB.
We use the vaccine.
Yes.
It has been found, supposing in the epithelial lining cells of the respiratory tract,
Correct.
there is one serotype there,
Yes. Yes.
and the other serotypes come through the vaccine.
Yes. Yes.
Then
That's
between these two, even the virus present in the vaccine,
yes. Will also
the
combine
virus which is infecting the bird, they can have exchanges,
exchange.
and new serotypes will be created.
Yes, and also there is a host DNA also, just RNA, they mingle with that.
It could happen.
And then they form into quasi-species.
Now, quasi-species is something different. Quasi-species is actually, it occurs when the antibodies are not able to destroy the bacteria.
Destroy that. Yes,
It
that's
comes to
right.
bacteria.
Yeah, exactly.
Now
Exactly.
that assortment point, that was a very interesting one you raised was,
Yes, yes.
it applies to, there is only one segmented RNA virus in poultry,
Correct.
and that is avian influenza. There is no other no other any virus.
No other antivirus.
So there
Yes.
are 8 segments in case of the avian influenza virus. There
You're
are
right.
8 segments.
Yes.
They are the genes, RNA are there.
Correct.
And that's why they have not only the drifting, but they have genetic recombination, reassortment.
Recombination occurs.
And which is dangerous. That is how it can go to human being also. It can, I mean,
Yeah.
different combinations occur.
Yes.
Virus can even mutate in such a way
Correct.
it can spill over. It will jump the species and enter into different species.
Exactly.
It's a very complicated thing actually. We hardly know much about it.
You also explained about amino acid sequence change, the
Yes.
epitopes and the glycoprotein,
Yes.
especially they form into different serotypes. For example, there
Yes.
are more than that. MAS, ARC, CON, and JMK, HOTE, HOLTE, and Florida strain, so many. Now in China also there's a new strain has come, QX strain, IB,
Yes. Yes.
QX strain.
Yes.
And this is also very dangerous again.
Yes.
We are, that's why we are not in a position to control the avian influenza, the
Viral diseases are greater challenge actually compared to the bacterial diseases.
bacterial diseases.
Because we do not know what tricks they are going to play.
And another
How they are
thing,
going to dodge the immune system.
yes, sir, this IB virus has got a tissue tropism,
That is because of the receptor,
receptors, tissue
receptor
tropism.
combination. If the receptors match, then only it will penetrate into this tissue, otherwise not.
Yeah, some viruses will affect the neck of the young chicks and curling appearance of the young chicks.
So
Early,
yes,
early
at that-
stages.
Yeah, that's right. At that portion of the anatomy,
Yeah,
in the tissue, there must be receptors of that virus.
that virus, that
For
particular
example,
virus.
this
Yeah.
COVID-19 virus,
Similarly,
it is causing severe pneumonia, and people are dying from pneumonia, respiratory failure.
now again they are telling that so many strains have come now, AL, and what is that?
No,
Now,
this is because
Ah.
in the lungs of human being,
yes.
in the alveoli, if you remember, there are 2 types of alveolar
Yeah,
cells.
I know. Septal cells.
So the one is the septal cell, which forms the wall of the alveoli.
Correct.
And the other one is what is called as the alveolar type 2.
2. Yes,
which
alveolar type 2 is also there.
formation
Yes,
of Surfactant.
correct.
Surfactant. Now
Correct.
these type 2 alveolar cells, they have got the receptors of coronavirus 19.
Yeah, that's
Huge
right.
number.
Mm, mm.
That's why the virus after
That's why
going
pneumonia
into the
pneumonia is more
respiratory
in
tract,
COVID.
it goes into the lungs and causes pneumonia.
Yes.
And
yes.
what is called, I mean, there is a wild reaction of the immune system. What is called a cytokine storm.
Correct.
Cytokine storm.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Cytokines, so many cytokines,
Yeah.
because it's an immune system which has gone wild.
Yeah, that's right.
If the mob was ruling and they're doing a demonstration or protest, and if they
Okay.
become
Okay.
unruly-
There may be others are going to call.
Yes, yes.
I wind up. I again congratulate you for the nice presentation. Thank you very much for good information.
Thank you. So you have passed me in my examination then. I'm happy to clear the exam. Good, thank you. It's wonderful to have Professor Srinivas Gowda. We have been old colleagues. In fact, he is the true poultry scientist, because I was in the university, I was teaching pathology all the time. Only after retirement, because of my interest, I came to poultry. But he had been there for so many years, 30, 40, 50 years, poultry. So he's a true poultry scientist. I congratulate Dr. Srinivas Gowda.
There is one more question,
Yes, please.
audience, that they would like to know COVID-19, the difference between COVID-19 and the coronavirus of dogs.
Coronavirus of SARS.
Dogs.
Yeah. Coronavirus of SARS was there between 2002 and 2003. That virus had come from China. The basic difference between the two is that that virus is not that severe. Which one? SARS virus. Because the RO factor is much less there. It doesn't impact the respiratory system that badly. It does not spread that badly. But the receptor for both is the same. Receptor for SARS virus is angiotensin converting enzyme 2, and receptor for binding of the coronavirus 19 is also the same, angiotensin receptor converting virus 2, enzyme 2. But the main difference is that the RO factor in this COVID-19 is higher. It is 5.7. So one person can infect 5 to 6 people. And then because of the mutation never occurred in SARS, but mutation has occurred in case of this virus. Mutation has occurred in SARS virus 19. And because of that, it has developed a highly pathogenic strain called L strain. And this L strain has a very great affinity for the receptor. Your question was, what exactly was the question?
Recently,
Corona for dog?
Yeah, dogs only. Recently, there was a news that
Yes.
dogs are trained to identify the person suffering from coronavirus COVID-19. Will there be any harm to the dogs because of this training and all that? What is your?
Yes, the coronavirus has been isolated. It was a sporadic case actually. In dogs, it's not going to produce much of a disease. And it's not going to transmit to human being also. So nothing to worry about dog. That way, same thing they have found in cat also. They have found coronavirus in camel, in camel, and they also found in cattle. So in dog, as far as I know, if somebody can throw more light on that, it's not going to pose much problem. They are there. It was earlier also there, but it was never recognized any time. Now it is coming to light.
My last question is,
Yes.
In poultry industry,
Yes.
and breeders, what precautions we could or we should take to avoid some of these COVID-19 and all that in our farms?
COVID-19 at farm, but COVID-19 doesn't infect poultry. COVID-19 affects only human beings.
Yes.
So all the precautions which are given by the government of India and many other news channels, the most important which I am following is to remain confined to your home until the situation becomes normal. Self-isolation, or what is known as lockdown. And if by any chance you happen to go to outside of your home, then see that a distance is maintained of at least 3 meters, 8 to 10 feet distance, because this virus cannot go on its own for a long distance. It will die. It will get inactivated. So long as the virus, human coronavirus 19, is protected by the droplet. In this droplet, I mean, when we sneeze or we sort of cough or something, there are those droplets. If it is present in the droplet, then it will infect. So if you are standing at a distance of about, let us say 5 to 6 feet, you are safe. But the most important thing is confined to home, self-isolation. That is the only sure sort of protection. Since past 40 days, I have not gone out. I have not crossed that Lakshman Rekha of my gate of my house.
Oh, okay, sir. Oh,
And that is the only way we can save ourselves. There are no vaccines so far, and whether the vaccine scientists feel will be able to work or not, by the same time, if the virus changes, there are no drugs. They are making efforts to come out with what are known as angiotensin converting enzyme 2 inhibitors, so that spike protein doesn't attach to the receptor and we protect ourselves. But so far there is nothing there. So the only way is self-isolation and social distancing,
thank you, sir. Thank
in
you.
my view. And this is the view throughout the world. And those who have not obeyed this self-isolation and social distancing, they are facing the wrath of this virus. What is happening in Italy, Spain, UK, France, United States has been hit so badly. So we are doing much better that way in India. And we should remain, particularly the old people like me. We have to be very careful. Once you have crossed 65, you have to be very careful. Remain at home. Let us not move out. So friends, if there are no questions, no more questions, then I once again thank your association, president, and particularly to Dr. Puttanavaya, because he was the man who took this initiative. He was the man who persuaded me. He was the man who encouraged me. And that's why this program come to reality. So my heartfelt thank to Dr. Puttanavaya.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the great information you have given it to all of us. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, yes. Bankar, come here. Yes.
John, is that okay?
Yes, it's okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Close, Dr. Khan, can we close?
Yes, please. Yes.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah. Close.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Khan.
Sir, may I request you to deliver a vote of thanks and conclude the meeting. However, there are a couple of questions which have come, like canine corona versus virus is alpha corona and COVID-19 virus is beta corona. They are genetically dissimilar. Can you comment on this? Can you ask question on this to Jay?
So before closing,
Yes, before closing.
I profusely thank Dr. J.L. Vegad for great information he has given it to us on both corona, COVID-19 as well as IB. And of course, I also thank profusely all the listeners on this program and also the great questions they have posed to Dr. J.L. Vegad. And I think some of these things in these few months, probably this is the way that we may have to go ahead with all our technical seminars and all that. And all the listeners, all the audience, they can write to us as to what subjects they would like to have this sort of a seminar online. So thank you once again for this success of this program. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Khan.
Hello, sir. Dr. Sushant,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Would you like to say something, sir, before concluding?
No, nothing. No, thank you. The program was wonderful. Okay, thanks to Dr. Vegan. And thanks to
Dr.
all who have
Sushant, sir.
participated. Yeah. Thanks to Dr. Vegan and thanks to all who have participated. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. The meeting is concluded. We will share the presentation from Dr. Vegad, and also the meeting is recorded. It will be uploaded in YouTube, and the link will be shared with you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.